morning. Let's take a look at yesterday. Any green screens? Well, some good shouts, but I was a little bit distracted. Post-operation for me ma. So we did make some good calls. It was two competitions that I don't like to play ordinarily, but gut instinct on a few of these matches. I hope you followed it yourself. And if you did, you would have been amply rewarded. Not very good trading when you are too distracted. Final, great example of that. You should have really cleaned up in the final match, that's for sure. The only play I recorded was get out of jail play. Panathinaikos against 10-man Poulsen. You'd think an automatic lay the draw second half, wouldn't you? But as the match was ticking forward in the second half, Panathinaikos hadn't had a shot on target. Now it's important, if you've got an in-play stats feed, that you check the times of these shots on target, because it's no point looking at them at face value. 4 shots on, 8 off, 6 corners. Looks great, doesn't it? But then you look deeper, 4 shots on target, none second half, and we're 10-15 minutes into the second half. I bailed out. I laid the draw at 3.05, I backed the draw at 2.48, got out of jail with a £5 loss. But let's look at the calls that I made that I hope you followed up on. Some good instinctual calls yesterday. Rangers did take a lead against Ferencvaros. It was just a tentative mention that Ferencvaros 1.7 home favourites, but quite clearly the market getting that spot on. Ferencvaros, of course, got the equaliser there. Old Reliables, Midland doing another number. The matches I got starred, but the matches I had a greater confidence in. And looked as if I got that spot on. Moving to Stuttgart, far too efficient for Maccabi Tel Aviv. That 1.17 you see there is bang smack in the middle of expectations for that scoreline. When you see a 1.17, it's normally indicative of a 3-0, a 3-1, just to be safe, and any other home score, which on Betfair, any other home score is 4 goals or more. Utrecht against Nottingham Forest. Well, a watching brief really for Sean Dyche in Europe, but a very good performance against a Dutch side, and all Dutch sides do have that goal threat. Young boys did get the goal against Lille. The Lille red card must have come late on. Up to you whether you trusted it. 1.6 away favourite. Not always, even with 10 men, did these 1.6 home favourites capitulate, but yesterday they did. And I was clear about this. 2 goals for Unai Emery away from home, yet again. Fantastic stuff. Did Basel score first? Alas, they didn't, but it was a 1-1 draw, and if you laid the draw on the basis of Unai Emery's 2-goal haul away from home, you'd have been delighted with that one. Celta Vigo and Bologna. I gave a tentative shout to both teams to score, given the reputation these two have domestically, and given Celta Vigo's love, in inverted commas, for a 1-1. I also mentioned that Roma looked a little bit too good for Celtic. I was imagining more of a 0-1 scenario for me, and Celtic certainly gettable if leading. Sometimes you can just oppose the odds. Very, very good odds, weren't they? Not in keeping with a 3-0. That is in keeping with a 3-0 scoreline. Feyenoord and Steaua Bucharest. Not happy with this one. I was distracted, I'm afraid. Got a phone call from the hospital about my old ma, just giving us the green light that she's okay, safe and happy. A bit groggy. But this was a play. Particularly if you had momentum. If you had a momentum graph. I laid over 0.5, over 1.5 goals at the start of this match. And I was hoping, at least for a 0-0 at half time, but got distracted, I'm afraid, away from the computer. And the momentum graph went like this. It was very vertical. When you start seeing that kind of a vertical just before half time, boom, boom, job done. You could have got excellent odds about final relative to the pre-match 1.67. We're talking about 2.6, 2.7 for them. And don't forget, you could have laid Steaua Bucharest at decent odds as well, relative to their pre-match price. Fantastic stuff there. Forget the final score. Okay? As a trader, the final score doesn't matter. It's what happens in play that matters. So I'm disappointed, really disappointed I couldn't get that one to you. And it's all about being distracted. So got to make sure I'm not distracted in my next session. It costs money. Well, Freiburg were just pants, weren't they? And there was no value to be had. I would not be laying the draw at fives, but as you saw, they got a goal and it looked like an own goal. Scraped by against 10 men there. Panathinaikos, as you can see, ended 0-0. Great decision. Absolutely superb. I'm absolutely delighted with that one. That was a £40 loss on the draw. I'll take that every day of the week. Sometimes you've got to read up. If it's just not going your way, let's see how many shots they had on target in the second half. Probably a woeful amount. None. No shots on target. No big chances. No corner kicks. Sorry, wrong one. No shots on target. Same story. One big chance, 3 corner kicks. That's not the kind of performance you want to see of a team playing against 10 men. Awful stuff. Glad I got out. Again, instinct proving worthwhile. I just thought, Greeks, not really goal merchants, are they? Bankers in the Conference League. AZ Alkmaar, well, did a job against Dritter, but no real trading angle. And I did look at possibility of Strasbourg as well. Top 4, top 5 in French League. Should be too much for the Dons, who did score. What a pity their goal didn't stand, as they scored first. That would have been an excellent play. And Crystal Palace, easy as you like shelling peas against a Republic of Ireland side. If they'd have lost that, you would have heard the last of that one. And a look at today's trading angles. Quick mention for Vukovar, who are, I think, newly promoted into the Croatian H1 League. That might see them vulnerable today. It's one to play in play. West Brom and Sheffield United. It's interesting that this is a 2.3 home favourite. It's because West Brom are doing a win-draw sequence at the moment, but they are unbeaten in recent matches at home. That's the reason. And they're playing 17th in the league, Sheffield United. I don't think they'll be 17th for that long. But they are unbeaten, and they tend to collect wins around teams below them in the league. Sheffield United, one such team. That's why you're getting lukewarm odds. The market can't discount Sheffield United. Why? Well, it's obvious. Let's take a look. 4 wins, scoring 3 goals minimum for Sheffield United. 2 consecutive away results, scoring 3 goals minimum for Sheffield United. Chris Wilder has unlocked that attack. That's why they can't be discounted. But West Brom tend to get a decent result at home. That's why they can't be discounted. It's your typical 2.3, 2.4 the favourite match. It's very difficult to find a winner. But Sheffield United's goal threat is consistent. That could be troubling for the Baggies. Angers and Nice. Angers putting together 3 clean sheet wins to 0 in 4 matches. 2 of them were 1-0 only. So they are going to be over-reliant on that defence. Both of these 2 teams have played top of the table, Lens, and both of them have lost 1-2 against Lens, but being very competitive in that. Nantes, for example, kept it 1-1 for quite a while, and Lens just pounced late on. We did lay the draw there, if you'll recall. So it's a difficult match to commit to. Angers, the reason they're favourite is down to the fact they've got those 3 clean sheets and 4. They could cap Nantes today to a single goal. When Nantes have scored 2 goals away, they've, I think, drawn 1 and won 1. But their form is awful. So for me, this has a feel of Nantes being capped to a single goal. French Ligue 2 might get some attention. That would be the standout match there, Pau against Amiens. Looking at the standings, I wonder if Pau are up there or thereabouts. It has been Saint-Etienne really up there. Indeed, Saint-Etienne second, newly relegated. And no coincidence to see them second. Where are Pau? Just outside of the top 5. So this is an important playoff place, isn't it? Set of playoff places. It's only 5 places available. It's even worse in Bundesliga 2, by the way. So this is an important match. When you're odds on at home, get the win, boom, you're up to 29. You could be second or third in the league. And that is where you get straight to the playoff final without going through the semi-final heartache. I know it's a little bit early, but it's important if Pau can get themselves into that top 5 today. That is huge motivation, isn't it? Amiens are down the bottom as well, so that's motivation for them. That would be the standout play, obviously, via the odds. Union Berlin and RB Leipzig, 2 consecutive defeats for Union Berlin. One of them, they were odds-on favourite against Heidenheim at home, and they lost 1-2. They did score first there. Now, any nonsense like that today will be punished by RB Leipzig. But Leipzig are not the Leipzig you see at home. The banker material at home, scoring 2+ goals. They have had trouble scoring that second goal away from home, but it's not costing them. That's the important thing. 4 clean sheets away from home is a good foundation for Leipzig. They've only been beaten by Bayern Munich and a renewed Hoffenheim, having an excellent season, Hoffenheim. So those were 2 away defeats. Union Berlin are nowhere near that, but you've got to respect the market. The market is very lukewarm, but those of you who see some value, like Roma, 2.3 yesterday, I see 2.25, and I see a Leipzig who could be capable against a Union Berlin, just capitulating at odds on against Heidenheim, a side who are really lacking any decent form. Bundesliga's Vi, 1.9 and 2.25 the favourite, up to you if you wanted to play that. The preview is available. Lecce and Pisa, well, this is going to lurch probably to goal-fest for Pisa. At home, it's 0-0s. Away, 3 consecutive 2-2s away. Now that's important because Lecce are just coming off the back of a 2-1 win against Torino. Torino are a defensively stout side, so we could see Lecce eye 2 goals today. These 2 are in the bottom 4, bottom 5, so arguably it's a relegation 6-pointer as well. 2.5 the favourite as well, which tells you could be anything. If you fancied a start, 2-2 would be a good opening gambit in this particular match. It covers the first team to score, covers the second team to score as well. But it's likely to be a goal fest, as Pisa tend to do away from home. But do remember, the market is giving both teams a chance. Serie B, odds-on favourite Palermo. Just have a look at the standings. Whereabouts are they? Whereabouts is Sam? Not quite the days of David Platt, is it, for Sam? Palermo are top 5 at the moment. They are in the playoff places for the quarterfinals. So a win today would be very rosy indeed. It could take them into the playoff semi-final places as well. I know it's early on in the season, but if you can get yourself in these places and try to retain these places, then life is going to be a lot rosier once we get deeper into the season. So that's an important one as well. Like the other match, Palermo, an opportunity there. Dutch Eredivisie, if you fancied a punt with the bookmakers, back over 2.5 goals and both teams to score in every single match in an accumulator. Sit back and hope that the goal fests arrive. Strongest favourite, Den Haag, 1.35 away from home. Few odds on favourites at home, but it is a goals league. And if you wanted to double check that in a goals league, the teams are performing or will perform, click one of these teams, move down to odds. If the over 2.5 goals is under 1.6, you've got a good opportunity. So 1.67, just on the cusp. I would be looking at 1.6 or lower for over 2.5 goals. So look out for those. You've got another option as well for over 2.5 goals. I'm not sure if it will be covered, the Eredivisie, but you can go to Odds Checker, Football Accumulator, over 2.5 goals. I tend to record 1.6 favourites and lower. So let's have a look to see if there are any today. We might see it in Italy today, but look at that Angers, not suggesting a goal fest today, is it? So this gives you a slight indication of what the market expects. The market's not expecting goals. Look at that, Lecce and Pisa. I would disagree with that. That looks like value. If Pisa turn up their usual away mentalness, those 2-2s, consistent 2-2s. So we don't have the Dutch Eredivisie available at Odds Checker. And we don't really have any 1.6 or lower for 2.5 goals today in what is a tricky Friday coupon. It is, as I said, in yesterday's message. Here's a Friday coupon, if ever there was one. Real Sociedad and Girona will finish it all off. Problem with this particular match is that Real Sociedad are struggling against strugglers to score that second goal, albeit remaining unbeaten. So it's 1-0 wins and 1-1 draws. But let's have a look at their recent form. Win-loss, win-win-loss at home. Not too shabby, but they're on a run of 2 consecutive 3-2 scorelines at home. One of them a win, one of them a defeat. For me, I don't see Girona having 2 goals in them, though, consistently enough. Indeed, they're on a run of 3 consecutive away defeats, conceding at least 2 goals. That does look a little bit of value today for Real Sociedad, if they can continue that 2-goal habit. So that does look a little bit of value for Real Sociedad today. Spanish La Liga to finish it all off. 2.2 the favourite there, not very appealing, as you can see. Let's have a look at some of the expected goals analysis today, and you've already seen with Oddschecker, they're not expecting a 2.5 goal fest today, are they? Let's have a look at some of these. And once I get that new app up and ready, you'll have expected goals available for you at your request. You can see the problem that the baggies have, the average of 1.11. Compare that to an increasing Sheffield United XG. I think it'll be far, far different under Chris Wilder, won't it? But 1.45 is knocking on the door of 2 goals. But they've got to solve this problem away from home as well, giving sides far too much rope. 1.75 knocking on the door of giving sides an opportunity to score 2. West Brom might get on the score sheet today, but Sheffield United could threaten that second goal. Well, you can see the problem for these two, can't you? It screams out 1-2 defeat, 1-2 defeat. Real trouble scoring that second goal. Hence, you're losing 1-2 to Lens recently. That about sums that up, doesn't it? So they look well matched, these two today. Angers have been keeping clean sheets recently, so that will be reducing their expected goals against. On ultra recent form, that 1.82 is not accurate. 3 of the last 4 matches have kept clean sheets, but you can quite clearly see Nantes' problem. It's a concession far too often of 2 goals, and both a little blunted in attack as well. So an interesting match. For me, Angers' clean sheets might just trump it over Nantes today. Well, Leipzig, they're building their expected goals for of 1.96, predominantly at home. It is away from home they do struggle. So again, it's a little skewed. What we could really do with is to see away XG and home XG. You can see with Union Berlin that trouble scoring that second goal, and problems they might concede 2 today if Leipzig meet their expectations and Union Berlin giving them opponents enough to score at least a goal. And with Leipzig, they could ignite and score 2, but Leipzig far, far more reliable at home than away, just out of interest. Based on XG trends, recent defensive lapses by Union, comfortable 2-0 or 3-1 win for Leipzig. Well, that doesn't marry with the pre-match odds, and that suggests a little bit of value. We will see how accurate AI is about that later on. Lecce and Pisa, well, it's a completely different story away from home again for Pisa, but generally speaking throughout the season, the problem these two have is that scoring of that second goal consistently enough. Yes, they did get 2 goals against Torino in the last home match, Lecce. That is promising. Pisa away from home, that XG is going to be far higher. If seasonal trends are there, then you'll be laying over 0.5 goals at the start of the match. But if Pisa away from home continue, it's going to be a 2-2 or something like that. Well, have a great day today. I'm off to visit my ma at 2 p.m. today to be a little groggy. I've told her no break dancing, no 5-a-side football, and no half marathons, just for a couple of weeks. So hopefully she'll behave. Have a great day. It's a tricky Friday coupon, as is the norm. But I hope you'll find some angles yourself. And I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow for a live stream, if all is well. It is me ma's birthday tomorrow as well. So if there's nothing planned, I will be doing a live stream from 2:30 onwards. Have a great day, and I'll see you again tomorrow.